Welcome back to Run It Back. Guys, are you going to do it? Act it out. Okay, no, you're not going to act it out.
The fact that we can't show the shot is
well, because
devastating.
we're going to have a guy on right now that produced one of the most memorable moments in March Madness history. Kris Jenkins, right now, from the 2016 Villanova championship run. We were going to act out the shot for you, but I felt like if we'd done it wrong, you would have been
Hold that thing up.
Cash.
It would have been awesome. All right, take us through it. Do you, every year at this time, do you just sort of go, and then tell everybody about it? Like, how does this work?
It usually works by me getting sent the video by somebody recording it on TV, like, oh, look, here you go. And usually spark some conversation. But, you know, I'm very appreciative. I was a part of a great team with a lot of elite players. I feel myself, I'm very lucky, very fortunate for my college career that I had to play along a lot of great guys and be coached by Jay Wright. So, no, I was just fortunate for sure.
The dapper Jay Wright. All right, who was the shot against again, if you could remind us?
It was against my brother, Nate Britt, who was also a junior at the University of North Carolina. So it makes it a little bit special.
That's got to be
insane.
like the ultimate insult to injury.
Yeah, so that team, by the way, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, Pascal. Think about how many players in the NBA that you guys produced. That good top 5 team ever all time. I know you got to put the Florida Gators 07 in there with Joakim, but are we talking top 5 ever? Are we talking best team ever?
I tend to go back and forth between our team in 16 and then the team that they had again in 2018, which had a lot of those younger guys in 16. But I put us up there with any team kind of in college, but you know how that kind of goes. It's just who has the best day that game.
Kris, I want to ask you, over the weekend, you guys fired head coach Cal Neptune after 3 seasons. As a big-time alumni, where would you like to see the direction that the program go to? Anybody that you would like to see replace him at the head coaching position?
Yeah, I appreciate the question. That's tough, you know. First, I want to show Cal love, you know, because Cal, his first year as an assistant coach was my freshman year in 2013. So, you know, we love Cal. He's been a part of our Villanova basketball family, and we wouldn't be the program that we are without his contributions. So, we definitely want to show him some love and let him know that he's still a part of our family, and that'll never change. But as far as the new search that's coming, the alumni, we're just going to support whichever direction the school goes in. That's where we're at now. The school means a lot to us. A lot of us have put our bodies and our hearts on the line for the university. So we're just going to support and continue to show love to whoever gets the job, and hopefully we can get right back on track here. Understood.
And Chandler just mentioned all of the guys that were on that Villanova team, and you once said in an interview, you know, when you're at Villanova, you sign up to be a team-oriented guy, and once you go to the pros, you basically become your own CEO of your company, and you're absolutely right. Everybody becomes their own brand in business. Do you think that's changed in college basketball with the NIL stuff right now?
I love the NIL, Lou and Chandler and Michelle, because it forces the college coaches, one, to be honest, and they have to be even more legit now than they've ever been before in their lives as a coach. You can't finesse and hold guys back, and you know, if a guy feels like you're hindering his success, he's just gonna hop into the portal. Right. And do that to everybody, you won't have a team and a job. So it forces college coaches to be more legit. But I just feel like it's a different time. We shouldn't look at it through the lens of the old school way. We just have to adjust and adapt, just like anything in life, and move forward.
But how frustrating is that for a coach? Like, say Villanova is giving you 200 grand, you weren't really stoked with your playing time, and then Texas next summer is going to give you 250 grand. You're just out, right? There's no accountability. Like, how do you decide?
I just seen, I forget his name, but he said 80% of his team is in the portal this year.
Like, Florida right now has this the white dude Tommy Houck on there. He's already getting offers to transfer. And like, the tournament hasn't even started. I'm like, how are we supposed to keep this guy?
You're not.
I mean, that's definitely one of the flaws of the system. But just like the old system, nothing about it is going to be perfect. It's been 150, 200 years of it being kind of a bad situation. So now that it's in favor of the players, I'm kind of like, yeah, well, it was regulated against the players. Now that it's in favor, you kind of need to let it be for a little bit before you regulate it.
I bet contracts are coming at some point.
Now we can just do it. It just doesn't have to be under the table.
Yeah, I think there'll be something coming.
Because, Kris, I want to ask you this. Knowing what you know now, on that Nova championship team, who would have chased the bag on that team? Who would have chased the bag?
Oh man, that's a good question.
All of
but
y'all,
honestly,
everybody.
yeah, to answer your question, all of us would have got paid, but at that time, a lot of our guys on that team, we came to Villanova probably taking a step back because guys could have probably went other places and had better careers and started other places. So with guys already having that kind of mindset, I know a lot of us that went to Villanova, we wanted to be stars at basketball schools, and Villanova was a basketball school. So if a football school was going to come and throw money at us, it would have had to have been like triple or quadruple the value.
That's a fact.
Being a star at Villanova, playing in the Big East, playing in the Garden every year, Big East tournament, you could just set yourself up for life in a way that if you went to a football school, I don't know if it would be the same.
Yeah.
Man, we know how close the Villanova Knicks are. I just think it's funny saying it over and over again with the podcast and everything between Brunson and Hart. How close are all you guys really? Like, are there hangouts? People do you summer together? Like, what happens here?
Yeah, no, we all still keep in contact. We have this alumni event at Villanova every year where pretty much almost all of us come back, and some guys will play, but majority of it is just to get back around each other, show the love, continue the elite vibes that we always had when we were in school. And the relationships that we built, they were for a lifetime. You know, we'll always be kind of looped in together. But it's just so awesome to see all those guys on the Knicks and to see them dominating, getting ready to make their playoff push. I know y'all not too high on my guys right now, but
they're just worried
to stop getting my guys
No, we just worried. They just playing too many minutes. We like the Knicks.
And by the way,
worried.
in January you tweeted Tibbs needs to stop running our guys into the ground. then Bridges says he's asked to play less minutes, and then Tibbs comes out and says that conversation never happened.
We just concerned. We just concerned. That's all. We just concerned.
Come on, Kris.
First of all, is he playing too many minutes? Is he playing him too many minutes, and is he going to burn them out for the playoffs? Like, is that because this has always been his thing, right? From everywhere he's coached.
Yeah, he's not going to burn the guys out because those Villanova guys, they love basketball, and at the end of the day, we love to hoop. That's one thing about Villanova as well. If you didn't love basketball at that time period, you wouldn't have survived. But I do believe Thibs plays those guys a little bit too much. But like you said, we've seen that kind of throughout Thibs' career. So for Mikal to kind of have a comment like that, Mikal plays every game since I've ever known him, dating back to college. Mikal's never missed a practice or a game since I met him. So for him to come out and have a comment like that, it definitely raised my eyebrows, and it was alarming.
Just real quick on Donte DiVincenzo, because it just felt like it was almost too good to be true. We were actually going to get the entire Knicks team basically be Villanova. We know Jalen and here are besties. And then he leaves, and it felt like a bad, sad breakup. Like there was still love there, but he had to go. Like, how bad was it really?
It wasn't bad. It was tough because Donte, you know, he had just signed a contract, was about to get married, getting ready to have a kid. So, you know, you kind of feel like this is where you get ready to finish or have the best part of your career, and to kind of have that trade happen. It definitely didn't feel good. Some emotions were involved, but, you know, brothers get in fights all the time. As you can see on their podcast, they've spilled a couple of things that have happened in the locker room back in the day, but those are some of the good stories. They kept all the crazy ones to themselves.
All right, well, let me ask you about some of the crazy ones, you know, because we seen once DiVincenzo got traded, him and Josh Hart, it kind of looked like they wasn't really on the same page. Do you recall any real locker room beefs or guys being competitive back then? Any stories you can tell me?
See, one thing I will say is that nothing ever really spilled over into the locker room. So whenever we were done with it on the court, we kind of left it there. But we all would get into it. I would get into it with Josh. Josh would get into it with Daryl. He would get into it with Daniel. Like, that was just what drove our energy at that time. That's how we all carried ourselves. That's what we thought we had to do to be successful and to help turn the program into a blue blood. And that's kind of what our focus was. So we definitely had some moments where it was some elbows thrown and some haymakers that might have been thrown. And
haymakers?
Wait,
you just breeze past haymakers.
Like that's nothing?
So the basketballs might have been chucked at a couple people, but for the most part, nobody really took no crazy spills, and we kept it clean. But I mean, there was high intensity, and Coach Wright was a super intense guy as well. So I don't want to say he fed into it, but no, he told the line with us.
And we see obviously the video that's just happened with Josh Hart and Tibbs getting into it. We talked about the minutes and is he playing him too much? It's always going to be a topic of conversation when it comes to Tibbs. But how is their relationship off the court? When you see something like this, I just said I've had many of these with my coaches, but at least it wasn't personal because I had that relationship. Are these guys cool with Tibbs? Like, do they like Tibbs?
Yeah, man, those guys loves playing for Tibbs, man. Tibbs is a hard-nosed coach. He's going to coach you hard, but this is Josh. Josh is a passionate guy. He's a junkyard dog. He's going to give you everything that he's got, and the style of play that he plays, he's in a super intense mindset each and every second. So he may say some things that aren't nice or like your parents would say them, but you know, last time I checked, none of us look like each other's parents, so why would you expect for me to speak like that? In a tough spot, you know?
God, that's awesome. The bad ankles. We know that Jalen Brunson wants to be out there playing all the time, and obviously now he's going to be out. Now that we have a bit of a timeline that seems a little longer than we initially thought. Have you talked to him? Like, how much does he just hate not being available for any of this?
Yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to talk to him because I during the season, I try to give those guys their space because I know it's a lot coming at him, a lot going on. But, you know, Jalen he's a dog, man. He's a leader. He's a competitor. And, of course, he wants to be out there. But I think he wants to make a playoff push and bring the Knicks a championship more than anything. So I think he's going to play it safe and play it smart, most importantly. And, you know, Rick, his dad is over there, so they're going to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, before I let you go, man, you know I'm Philly by nature, man. That's my second home. I want to hear your Mount Rushmore of Villanova guys. You got 4 spots. I want to hear your 4 guys.
Ouch.
Good luck.
That hurt. All right, well, I definitely got to go Jalen Brunson. He's number 1. Just graduated in 3 years, 2 national championships in 3 years, by like every All-American award, by Coos. Like, so Jalen's probably the most decorated Villanova player, so he's definitely one.
Great start.
I got to throw Scotty Reynolds in there just because.
Shout out to Scotty. Scotty was I was in Philly when he was doing that.
Williams.
He was cooking at that time.
Yeah, man. Scotty gets kind of lost in the sauce just because he's kind of like a low-key guy. He likes to stay out of the way. But Scotty he was the second all-time leading scorer in Villanova history. Eric Dixon just passed him. But, you know, Scoot was an amazing player. And then for 3, I would say this is where it gets tough. I would say Kyle Lowry, but his career was short at Villanova. But Kyle is definitely...
it's your Mount Rushmore. It ain't got to be nobody else's. It's yours.
Who was the guy? Not Foy. The other guy whose eye fell out during the game.
Oh, Alan Ray.
He was
Alan
dead
Ray.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
A-Ray 2K, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He's another 2,000-point scorer at Villanova. But I would go Josh Hart because, you know, I'm biased. We grew up together. I've known Josh since we were sophomores in high school. I saw him and his now wife. I drove with a friend to go see them off at prom. That's how far back.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that's how far back.
That's amazing.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then we have no tournaments about to start.
Wait, how bad were those prom outfits back then? I need to like.
I'm picturing a lot of bow ties.
Just so bad. Prom was so
A lot of
bad.
bow ties.
Yeah.
Good call. Smart. All right. Fair.
Chris, brackets came out yesterday. When it's all said and done, there's a lot of good teams this year. Who is the national champion?
I know what you're doing.
I mean,
You know what he's doing, Chris.
There's one clear-cut best team in the best conference all season long. I would like your opinion.
I mean, I'm gonna give you the answer that you're looking for. I think Florida.
Let's go. Let's go.
I think Florida has the.
He's been
the
talking
best
about this
track
for an
record.
hour, by the way. Setting you up for this question.
Well, I'll
We've
tell you
been
this,
talking about this in pre-production.
First of all, we should have been the number 1 overall seed.
yeah,
We
get it out.
We
Get
get
it
the
out,
hardest
Chandler.
bracket.
Get it out.
We have the longest travel somehow, and we're still going to come out on top.
I'm sorry, Chris.
Yeah,
Sorry you were a
They have
pawn.
a great coach. They got a good roster. They played extremely tough. And they kind of remind me of I don't want to say they were like any of our teams, but they kind of could just put the game out of hand like we could. Like, before you know it, we're up 5, and then it's 82-69. The game's over. It's like, dang.
Wow, love it.
Did you feel better?
Just the validation I need.
Yeah, sorry about that. Chris, we appreciate the time. Enjoy the madness.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's all good.
We'll be right back. You can't start torturing people with Florida.